China fueling America's fentanyl crisis. That's what House lawmakers are revealing after a bipartisan probe uncovers the CCP's role in the deadly drug epidemic. Lawmakers saying in an op-ed, quote, "We learned that China's ruling political party subsidizes the fentanyl crisis through government programs, protects fentanyl traffickers operating within its borders, and allows sales of deadly substances on Chinese e-commerce websites." So here to react, member of the House Select Committee on the CCP, Congressman Carlos Gimenez. Congressman, thanks for being with us. So, intuitively, we know that China is behind the fentanyl crisis. We know that the precursor chemicals used to make fentanyl now in Mexico, though, come from China. So what did we learn that was new here about the exact extent of the role of the CCP?
Oh, what I learned that was new was that China is actually incentivizing those chemical companies to produce the chemicals as long as it's for export, because actually it's illegal to actually have those chemicals in China. But as long as you're exporting it and poisoning people outside of China, it's great. Not only is it great, we'll incentivize you. We'll give you tax breaks to produce those chemicals and the precursors. And so that's outrageous. I can understand that you're allowing, hey, somehow, underneath, somebody is producing these chemicals in China, but you're really trying to go after them. But that's not the case. They're actually incentivized. They're poisoning over 100,000 people a year. Close to 100,000 people here in the United States, and other tens of thousands of people, probably in the West, in Europe, et cetera. And so China is really guilty of murder. In my mind, and China is also guilty of being a terrorist state. They are terrorizing us here in the United States. They're killing close to 100,000 people. Many more people have died, young people have died here in the United States from fentanyl overdose than were killed in the entire Vietnam War. And so, every year, by the way. And so that's outrageous.
And just to be clear, or to underline, these subsidies the Chinese Communist Party is offering to the manufacturers of these precursors are extended to the companies only if it's for export, not for domestic consumption of fentanyl.
That's correct. And most of these chemicals, a lot of these chemicals have no legitimate use. They are solely used to create these deadly poisons that are poisoning. Look, it's the #1 cause of death of young people from 18 to 49, I believe, in the United States. And so they're actually incentivizing it. But hey, not here in China. By the way, you know how many people died of fentanyl overdose in China, last year?
No.
Zero. None. Zero. Okay? And so they're poisoning almost 100,000 Americans every single year here, and tens of thousands more in Europe, all on purpose,
really quickly,
all being incentivized.
What can be done? What can we do? What can you do? You guys in Congress, what can you do to address this?
Well, one thing I'm doing is I'm working up on a bill to name China a state sponsor of terrorism. That's what I'm doing. And maybe they'll wake up to that, and maybe the Biden administration will actually do something about it instead of asking them, please, would you do something about the fentanyl crisis that we have here in the United States. Stop producing these chemicals, sending it over to Mexico, where these drug cartels are then actually making the pills, and then shipping them across the border. So we got to do two things. We got to take much more severe action against China, and we got to take much more severe action against those multinational cartels in Mexico, and probably start talking a little bit more, tougher with the Mexican government, because I also think that they're turning a blind eye to what's going on in their side of the border. Look, 9/11, we lost 3,000 Americans, and we went over to Afghanistan and waged war for 15 years because what terrorists had done to 3,000 Americans. What are we doing about some of these killing 100,000 Americans every single year? Nothing right now.
And to state the obvious, better enforcement at the border. Not that would solve all of the problems with fentanyl. You still have to address Mexico and China, but that's another obvious peg on the stool here of things that must be done, as you point out, to this crisis in America. Congressman Gimenez, thanks for being with us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
All right.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.